Hello, art people. Today we're going to be starting a new lesson called Punctuation Family Landscapes. But before we get started on making our artwork, we're going to listen to a story called The Day Punctuation Came to Town. So I'm going to pause it here and we'll listen to that story. Okay, so now that we've listened to our story, we are going to get started with our artwork today. So there's lots of different ways that you can do this drawing. You can do it like this. So there's a city and some fall trees. You could do a city like this, only it's in the springtime. You could do your artwork where they're in the woods. Or you could even put Punctuation Family in a farm or wherever you want Punctuation Family to go. So we're going to draw a landscape, which is a picture of the outdoors. And the first part of our landscape is, well, we need a piece of paper. So if you are the teddy bear, you can get everybody a piece of mixed media paper. And now we need a pencil. So if you're the alligator, you can get pencils and erasers for your table. And the first thing we do is always the same. We pick up our pencil and we write our name. This is going to go on the bottom right-hand corner for all of our art projects, including this one. So go ahead and write your name. And you're going to write whatever class you are in. So you're going to write a 1 for first grade and the first letter of your teacher's last name. Okay, now we can get started with our drawing. So when we draw something, we do something called draw it light before you got it right. So that just means that we might be erasing some of the things that we draw for the first part. So we want to draw really lightly so it's easy to erase. So in all of our landscapes, we have what's called a horizon line. So it's where the ground might meet the sky. So we have a horizon line here. It could also be where the structures sit on. But there's always a spot, a line or two that splits up our artwork and our landscapes. So usually it splits up the sky and the ground. This one's a little unique where in a way it has two horizon lines because we have kind of 3 sections in this one. Anywho, so you guys can go ahead and draw your horizon line. You can have a little sky and a big ground, little sky, whatever you want. It can be going up on a hill, it can be straight, it can be wavy, however you like. I guess I'll go on a hill this time. Okay, and the next thing that we're going to draw, and remember we're drawing all this really lightly because we're going to be erasing a lot of this, is you're just going to decide what you want in the background. So what's above the horizon line. So you might have some hills, maybe some mountains, maybe some buildings, maybe some trees. So you guys can draw, maybe a building. So you guys can draw whatever you want on your horizon line. I'll do mountains for this one since I haven't done that yet. I'm drawing very lightly. Okay. And if you want to add some details to your landscape, I'll add some snow to my mountains. And maybe a rainbow. Maybe I think that's good. Okay, so the next thing we're going to draw is our subject, which is what our artwork is about. And for this piece of artwork, our subject is going to be our punctuation family. So if you want to pretend they're friends, that's okay too, by the way. They don't have to be family. But I do need you to draw a question mark, an exclamation point, a comma, and a period. So in all of my examples, I have them as they're all hanging out together. But I think in my new one, I might have them more laid out sporadically. So anyways, I'll give you a tutorial for how to draw each of these. So the first tutorial I'll give you is how to draw the question mark. Okay? You can draw yours wherever you want. So first you'll do a backward C. And then go down. And then inside of this, you're going to do the exact same shape. So a backward C. This time it can have a little bit longer on the bottom. And then go down. And now you can connect these two lines. So see how I went over my horizon line there? That's why we draw it really lightly. Anytime you draw something on top of something else, you can just erase what you covered up. Here we go. And then of course a circle. All right. You can add all the little details later. First, let's do the tutorial for everything. And the next tutorial I'll give you is for the question mark. And I think I'm going to put mine, mine's going to be flying. So I'm going to have mine laying down. So basically it's just a rectangle. So draw a rectangle. It can be standing up or laying down. And then a circle, of course. It's my exclamation point. And then our comma is going to be like, pretend like you're going to draw a whole circle, but don't draw the whole circle. So just a big kind of hook, top hook, like an upside down letter U. And then on the right side of this U, you can do a diagonal line going down like that. And then on the left side of this U, a diagonal line going down. And then connect them. And then remember, anytime you cover something up, you can just erase it since you drew it lightly. And now the circle for our period, super easy. I think I'll draw mine. He's going to be rolling down the hill. That will be fun. So the next thing we're going to do is you guys can add little faces and little outfits to your punctuation family. So here's some ideas. I have a tie, happy, this hat, eyelashes, curly hair, little hands, a bow, little hairs, some glasses. Okay. So you can draw the faces now on yours and the outfits. Okay, good. Now, the next thing we're going to do is some watercolor painting. So if you're the alligator, you can go ahead and grab all the pencils and put those away. And if you're the kitty cat, you can get out the watercolor. I'll show you what the box looks like. Like this here, watercolor, and this is a picture of a watercolor palette. And there's different types of watercolor palettes in here. There might be enough for everybody to have their own, or maybe two people can share, but that's all up to the kitty cat. Kitty cats are in charge of the colors at their tables. So, yeah. Go ahead and grab that. And puppy dogs are in charge of these. This type of box is called a caddy. It has a handle on it. So this caddy is the puppy dog's caddy, and it has paintbrushes in it, and it also has these cups of water in it. And if the water doesn't work, like this, you can still see through it. You can tell that this isn't too dirty because you can see through it still. But if it's like really thick and you can't really see through it, I can still see through this one actually. You can kind of see the side of the cup. But anyway, puppy dogs are allowed to switch out their waters, but nobody else is. And they'll do that by taking the cup of water and putting it towards the back sink. There's a box that says dirty water, and first they put the dirty water cup in, and then they get to take the clean cup out. So no one is allowed to pour water in this room except for me. So you don't need to be touching the sink. All you have to do is just take the cup of water. If you're a puppy dog, set it down in the correct section and then get the clean water out. So anywho, and there's only 2 of these per table, so puppy dog needs to put them where 2 people can share. You guys can get a paintbrush. Okay, so watercolor needs to be really wet. So first, before you put the color on the paper, you need to make the paper wet where you want to color. So you're going to pick in your brain where you want to paint first. I'm going to paint my sky first. And then you just dip your paintbrush in the water. So you don't want color yet. First, you want to paint the paper with water, just wherever you want your first color to go. So this paintbrush has some purple on it, so I just need to clean it. There we go. We're just getting it wet where we want the color to go. So the first thing in watercolor is painting with water. I'm only painting what I want to be blue. Okay, once you painted with water, then you can pick your color. So I want blue, so I have to wake it up. I'm gonna go wakey wakey, eggs and bakey. And now that it's awake and wet on my brush, I can just go ahead and now paint in there. And the water that I've given you guys, or the paper I've given you guys, will hold the watercolor a lot better than mine. I forgot to bring home my good paper that I have at school. But yours will look better than mine. All of your paint will kind of like blend together and be really like nice and soft and blendy. This paper isn't great for watercolor, but it's what I had at home. So watercolor wants to be wet, not dry. Okay. Oh, there's a little spot over here. Okay, now you need to pick the next section you want to paint, but you don't want it to be touching the first part that you painted. So we want to keep the part next to what you just painted dry. So for instance, I'm going to do the ground next, because see how there's a big space in between my sky and my ground. So you're going to clean your brush, swish, swish, swish. And we don't clink in here. We just swish, swish, swish. And then I'm going to paint I'm going to get a bigger brush. Paint the ground or whatever you're painting next with water first. Remember, with watercolor, we do water first. Get the paper ready. And don't paint over your name. Name stays blank. The paper should start to curl a little bit with the water. Okay, once your section is wet, then again, you can wakey wakey eggs and bakey your next color and just drop it in and kind of push it around, but really the water's doing the work for you. Again, I'm having to actually push mine around because I don't have great paper here at my house. Okay. Okay. Now our sky should be dry by now. The water dries really fast. So now if you have something like on top of your horizon line, I have mountains, but if you have like buildings or trees or anything like that that's running into your sky, then now you can do that section. So again, just paint it with water first. We're going to work on these next time too. We're just starting them today. This is the last thing we're painting today, is just this third color. And then next time you guys will get to do you get to paint the little punctuation family and all your details that you want. We're just like getting it all ready to go for next time. Okay. And if you want gray, you just use black. And if you want pink, you just use red. Okay. That's going to be it for today. Like I said, we'll do some more painting next week, so don't worry. But you guys did a wonderful job. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.